Hey everybody, Mo Free again, back again for another one. I'm here in the call room, so that means we get some medical EDC stuff. Today, I really want to talk about the traditional doctor's knife. Of course, I'm drawn to these, even though they're not a black button lock. Let's take a look at what a doctor's knife is and the ones I got. And I got a new one we can open up, and I got a surprise one at the end, so you're going to want to stay till the end. First up, everybody, we have the first doctor's knife I picked up. No joke, it's called Black Silver Sparkle Acrylic. And, you know, wanting everything to be black, I thought it would be black. You can see it's got quite a bit of blue, light blue in there. It didn't end up being my favorite. I almost considered returning it, but it wasn't very expensive. I just held on to it as another knife to have in my collection if I wanted. It's got a 3-inch blade. It actually has two blades. It actually has two blades on this one. And so what makes a doctor's knife, it's kind of a slender knife with a flat surface on the bottom there for crushing pills. So almost like a pharmacist knife in a way for crushing pills. I've never crushed a single pill with any of mine, more of the aesthetic of it. And then it typically comes with a long pen style blade. This one, like I said, was 3 inches on this. On this one, this is actually 440A steel, so a stainless steel, but of course not a high-end steel and not going to have very good edge retention. But also, I didn't pay a lot of money for this knife, so it works out fine. Drop point blade and an easy pull is also what I've read about these. It has an easy pull in that you could open it even if your hands were wet. So that's the theme we're going to see on all these doctor knives, is that they have those components that we see. This one actually comes with a secondary blade, another drop point blade, but a smaller one, and maybe use that one as a backup blade, keep that one super sharp. You can hear that. Let's listen to that walk and talk on this one. I guess that's the talk, as if we're going to listen to it. The walk is the tension, and very light tension on that longer blade. A little more on this one, but more of a component of the blade being shorter. This one has, let me read some specs off here. Nickel silver, brass frame, nail nick opening, like I said, made in China. So that's the Rough Rider Black Sparkle Acrylic, my first doctor's knife. Not bad, not bad. I'm happy with it. I would recommend this next one instead. So after picking up that one, I found this one. And like I was saying about doctor's knives, these are traditional doctor's knives, meaning that these were used by doctors in the late 1800s, the early 1900s, traveling doctors. We're talking like Wild West times. And so when you think about it, crushing pills and using this for surgery, this is not modern medicine type stuff. This is Wild West medicine. And so it makes sense these are Rough Rider knives, right? This next one is actually from RoseCraft. You know, and I was looking up, is there any record of this stuff? I mean, a better researcher could find out like exact moments of when these were used in history, but like a Google search is very difficult to find when these have been used in history. And then, of course, I want to find out if these were ever used in a movie. I can't find a single movie where a doctor-style knife was ever used in a movie to depict a surgery or crushing pills or sorting pills. But I did find a story that is quite interesting that I would be interested in reading a book about or watching a movie about. And that person was George E. Goodfellow. And I'm sure you guys have never heard of him, but I'm sure you've heard of stuff that's happened around him. He was a Wild West doctor in Tombstone, and he actually worked on the Earp brothers when they were shot. So famous for that. And he also... And before I did the research on this, I'd heard about this guy in Tombstone because I'd visited Tombstone with my family, that he was probably the world expert on open abdominal surgeries for gunshot wounds. They were having so many gunshot wounds in Tombstone during that time that he became the expert on opening up people, repairing their abdomen and bowels and closing it back up again and having them do well. And he was also a Wild West pioneer of sterile procedure and cleaning his instruments and using, soap and water to clean wounds and things to keep everything as clean as he could, which wasn't necessarily widely accepted at that time. So very interesting story. He's got some other checkered stuff in his past that maybe has stopped him from being known as a total hero, with some racism stuff going on when he was actually accepted to the Naval Academy. And he had been involved in a hazing with the first African-American cadet in the Naval Academy, and he got kicked out from it. So maybe that's why he's not as famous as maybe he could be. This is the RoseCraft blades, Holston River Surgeon Slipjoint Folding Doctor's Knife. Again, black. Look at this. Look at this. If you were to guess what material that black is, what would you say? Would you say acrylic? Would you say G10? Would you say plastic? Would you say bone? That's actually micarta that's been polished. I have never seen a micarta look like that. They have polished that micarta. Crazy, right? That's what the website said. It says it's micarta. It really doesn't feel like it. But again, you see the flat bottom for crushing pills. Kind of this slender design here. This one has two blades again. A nice easy pull, nail nick, drop point blade. This one's in D2, which I think is great for edge retention. But of course it's not stainless. So kind of a weird knife to have as a surgeon's knife to not have it be stainless. So when I design my doctor's knife, it's going to be stainless steel of some kind. Here's the walk and talk on that blade. Again, not a very rigid opening. And then this one again this one's more of a Warncliffe blade, but a secondary blade. And maybe that's what to me makes it kind of a nice surgeon's knife, is that it's got a secondary sharper blade that if you use this one more for surgery, you could keep this one nice and sharp. And this one's also D2. And the walk and talk on that one, same as the other one. A little bit stiffer on the shorter blade. It's kind of weird though that it leaves like a gap where the shorter blade ends, but there's still a spot in there for it to be longer. It makes me feel like I got gypped out of blade length. Why does it have to be shorter? Why can't I just get another secondary long blade, maybe a different shaped one? This is the one actually I carry the most, and I keep it in this leather pouch that I purchased off Etsy, and I can link that below. And it had a clip on the back, and I liked that. I thought I could carry this in my pocket knife, but it ended up tearing up my church pants too much, and so I just ended up dropping it in my pocket anyway. But the clip's pretty unobtrusive, and so it really doesn't affect me that it's down in my pocket. The top sticks out a little bit. I wish I would have got a slightly deeper slip, but I mean, it makes it easy to grab it and pull it out and open the bag of candy that I open up for my lessons, because I always bring candy to church to teach my lessons, or else why would anybody listen to your lessons, right? That was actually designed by Andy Armstrong. That is a 3-inch blade as well, and the secondary blade is 2.2 inch. And those have a nickel silver shield, very similar, and a 3.75 inch handle. That slip was made by BaitNBlades. Now I have a new knife that I'm going to unbox that I haven't carried, that it's still in the box. This is another Rough Rider. This is a Black Reserve doctor's knife. This isn't the last one. There's one secret one after this one, so stay tuned. Rough Rider, Black Reserve, Black Pakkawood doctor's knife. Let's get it open. Look at this nice box. I mean, if you're going to get this for like a guy that's graduating med school, that's a really nice box. Right off the bat, it seems a little thicker than my other knives. Yeah, it's thicker. There it is in thickness next to the RoseCraft. It's broken. It's broken! I wonder if I can return it. Look at that, it's broken right there. I've had it a little while. I hope I can still return it. Can you see that it's broken right there? The scale's broken on it. Focus, you son of a punk. Right there, that crack right through there. This is 440A stainless steel, same as the other Rough Rider. Similar drop point. This one is more of a traditional knife, which I haven't talked about yet, but the most traditional doctor's knives have a spatula blade. More for scooping pills, but not sharp on either end. Well, dang it, that's disappointing. And it ended up being broken on both sides of the scales. So, like I said, I'll put that pinned comment down in there if I can get that reimbursed or replaced. Cool looking knife. I like how it had the spatula on it. I like that it was black. I like the texturing on the scales, but obviously some QC issues on that when you saw me just open it right out of the box like that. Like I've never used it before. All right, my surprise knife. You guys hung out for the end. What do we get? We get a Spyderco. Wait a minute. Spyderco doesn't make a traditional doctor's knife. I mean, it's not a traditional doctor's knife. Have you ever heard of a shaman? A shaman? Yeah, a shaman, according to my notes right here, says it's a spiritual practitioner, acts as a medium between physical and spirit world, healer. I mean, uses a little bit of, folk medicine, but still a healer, still a type of a doctor. And so I have the Spyderco Shaman. Oh my gosh. This is my Shaman, used and abused. I got a deep carry pocket clip on it. I've got a OCD for EDC, button lock extender for the compression lock. It just makes this a dream. And I do have to do a little bit of flick wrist, and this is probably the largest pocket knife I carry with Colorado blade laws. Probably shouldn't be carrying this one because it's 3.58 inches. So technically over 3.5 inches. You guys have I just kept the G10 scales on there with the black DLC blade and Spyderco's matte black DLC blade. I mean, CPM S30V blade, gold in Colorado, made in America. What a classic, brilliant knife. So excited to have this one in my Connect collection. And I'm proud to call this my doctor's knife. 4.7-inch handle back here, full finger grip. You have a full finger choil in here. I don't know if they call that a finger choil, but tons of choke up space, definitely for whole finger. Some jimping. I kind of wish it extended a little bit farther out up to here, but really grippy jimping back here on the spine. You got all 4 carry positions. The Shaman, it's a classic for a reason. It's amazing. That's my final doctor's knife. Everyone, if you're interested in more medical doctor content, let me know down in the comments. If you are liking what you're seeing here, check out my other videos. I have a blacked out WorkSharp RMX that I am giving away. Once I get 100 subscribers, I'm just going to do a random drawing for anybody who's put in the comments, I want the knife.
I said, I want the knife.
As a quote from the Golden Child.
I want the knife, please.
And you have to be a subscriber, and I have to be able to see that you're a subscriber. And you have those 2 things, and you live in a place where I can send the knife. I will do everything I can to try to send it to you. It's up to you, all the legal ramifications of that. You can watch that video on the RMX up here. I hope you enjoy the comment, guys. We will see you on the next one.